Hey, boys and girls, this book is called Santa in the City, written by New York Times best-selling author Tiffany D. Jackson and illustrated by Reggie Brown and published by Scholastic. Santa in the City. Every year, Deja counted down the days, hours, minutes, seconds until Christmas. But some kids at school didn't believe in Santa like she did. If there's a Santa, how does he get into your apartment where there's no chimney? Deshaun asked. That sleigh can't fit nowhere and reindeer can't fly. North Pole. And no one can live up at the North Pole, Garmin said. Face it, Deja, there's no Santa. Even if there was, he'd never visit us in the city. That night, Mommy found Deja in her room crying. What's wrong, Deja? Mommy, tell me the truth. Is there really a Santa Claus? Of course there is, baby girl. But how does Santa get inside our house if we don't have a chimney? Mommy smiled. Deja, magic always finds a way. Come, let me show you. She took Deja down to the first floor, where Mr. Clark was painting the front door. She pointed to the big keychain hanging off his tool belt. Santa's got a special keychain like our super, Mr. Clark. His key is magic and opens up all the apartments in the world. Oh, Deja said, that makes sense. Okay, but where does he park his sleigh? There's no free parking spots on our block at night, and ain't none of them big enough for our 9 reindeer. Mommy laughed. He parks on the roof just like he does at everyone else's house. She took Deja by the hand and led her up to the top floor, pointing to the roof. See, Mommy said, Santa comes in through there. Santa comes in through there. She showed Deja where Santa parks his sleigh and the old pigeon feeder Mr. Clark used to give the reindeer a snack. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. Satisfied, Deja took the stairs back down to her apartment. As Mommy tucked her into bed and read her favorite Christmas book, Deja smiled. Deshaun and Garmin were wrong. Santa did come to their city. But the next morning, as Deja left for a day of Christmas shopping with Mommy, she couldn't help noticing how different her neighborhood looked from ones in her book. The buildings on her block didn't seem ready for Christmas. She tugged on Mommy's coat. If we can't decorate our building, how will Santa find us? The mayor puts up extra special lights all around the neighborhood, Mommy said, and we always put lights in our window so Santa won't miss us. Oh, Deja said, makes sense. But as soon as they walked into the corner bodega, another question popped into Deja's head. And then another, and another. She almost didn't hear Mr. Ortiz say her breakfast sandwich was ready. Hey, little mommy, what's on your mind? Mr. Ortiz asked. Mr. Ortiz, can reindeer really fly? See, mommy, they're just like chickens. They can fly short distances, hopping from block to block, till they reach our block. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. King's Plaza. But even later that afternoon, as Deja and Mommy finished shopping, her head was so full of questions. She thought she might burst. She pointed to Santa Land and asked, okay, how can Santa be at King's Plaza, at Macy's, and up at the North Pole, making all our presents at the same time? Well, those men are special elves representing Santa. They listen to the wishes of the little kids around the world, then report back to the big boss, old Saint Nick. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. The next day was Christmas Eve, and Deja's entire family gathered at her aunt's house where they had a big feast. She played games with her cousins and danced with her uncles like she did every year, but it was hard to enjoy herself like she used to. She still had so many questions about Santa, and luckily, there were lots of people around to ask. Uncle Ronnie, how can Santa live up at the North Pole? It's really cold up there, Deja asked. Well, Santa works in tunnels underground, like the subway, where it's much warmer. Plus, he drinks plenty of hot cocoa. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. What about when we visit Grandma and Pop Pop in Jamaica? We're in a whole other country. How does he find us there? Oh, that's easy, her Auntie Casey said. Your mommy sends him a postcard to tell him where we'll be at. Oh, Deja said. Makes sense. Back at home, Deja left milk and cookies for Santa, but her head still swirled with questions. Like, where do other kids put their stockings if they don't have a fireplace? And how does Santa make it to all their cities in one night? Or has he ever delivered presents to the wrong house like the mailman sometimes does? Doesn't Santa's tummy hurt after eating all those cookies everyone leaves him? She asked Mommy. Santa doesn't eat all the cookies, Mommy said. He eats some, but has a magic sack he puts the rest in so he can share them with the elves when he gets back to the North Pole. I've even packed them up for him. You mean you've met Santa? Yup. He asked grown-ups to help since he has lots of stops to make in one night. Oh, she said. That gave Deja an idea. After Mommy tucked her into bed, Deja only pretended to go to sleep because there was only one person who could answer all her questions, and that was Santa himself. She waited until her mommy was asleep before sneaking out in the living room, but she just couldn't stay awake. She didn't hear Santa park his sleigh on the roof, or see him come down the steps, or use his magic key to open the door, or leave out the toys she asked the special elves for. But when she woke up, she found something better than any toy. A special message from Santa, just for her, letting her know once and for all, magic really does find a way. Santa was real, and he had no problem coming to her city. Santa in the City. I hope you love this book.